Hello, we are reading A Spy in Siberia, and we are in chapter 9. Okay, so let's read it together. Chapter 9, titled A Meeting in Singapore. Within a few hours, Fiona was sitting at a bar in a busy Singapore food market. The market was full of exotic smells, interesting food, and noisy people. She ate a bowl of delicious chicken and rice as she waited for Dr. Nielsen to arrive. Fiona kept her eyes open in case anybody was watching her. The memory stick was a crucial piece of evidence. Now that she had found it, she needed to be sure that no one was following her. After a few minutes, Dr. Nielsen arrived and sat next to Fiona at the bar, pretending she didn't know her. She ordered a bowl of noodles, and then she passed Fiona a piece of paper with an address on it. Fiona stood up immediately and left the market. Dr. Nielsen was clever. She knew it was dangerous for them to be seen talking together in public. Once she was outside in the street, Fiona checked the address and saw it was a public library. She jumped in a taxi and gave the driver the address. 10 minutes later, they arrived at a tall, modern building. Fiona went inside and waited in the entrance for a few minutes until she felt a hand on her arm. Automatically, she jumped, ready to defend herself, but it was Dr. Nielsen. "Follow me," said the scientist. She took Fiona to a quiet corner of the library full of computers. She placed her own laptop computer on the desk and turned it on. "Have you got the files?" she asked nervously. Fiona observed Dr. Nielsen carefully. Her forehead was covered in sweat, and she was biting her lip. "Are you okay?" Fiona asked. "I'm just worried about Eric, that's all," said Dr. Nielsen. "Quick, show me the files. I need to see what gas he's producing over there." Fiona hesitated. Something was strange in the scientist's behavior. She seemed excited now, not worried. Fiona gave Dr. Nielsen the memory stick and watched as the strange formulas appeared on the screen. The scientist looked at all those diagrams and calculations carefully. Without saying a word, she studied the screen for several minutes before she spoke. "These are too complicated for me," she said. "It'll take me weeks to work them out. The basic formula for the gas seems similar to the gas which Eric invented before, but he's changed several essential components. I'll need to take this back to the lab." "He released the new gas from special capsules in Siberia," said Fiona. "It was a test experiment. The gas created a bright green and blue light and increased the ground temperature immediately. I found the capsule days later, and it was still hot and had a strange smell." "That's useful information," said Dr. Nielsen, "but I need more time. For now, we must concentrate on finding Eric before it's too late." "We?" asked Fiona, confused. "You're not a spy, Edith. This is dangerous work." "Eric is my friend," said Dr. Nielsen. "I won't let you go alone. Come on. My sponsor in Singapore has got a private plane. I finished my project yesterday, so we can leave today." "But I still don't know where he is exactly," said Fiona. "Only that he's in the desert in Australia." Dr. Nielsen smiled. "I told you that our company has access to extremely sophisticated satellites in space. Well, I found something." She opened a map on the screen and showed Fiona a series of aerial photographs. "This is the Great Sandy Desert in Western Australia," she explained. "There's not much there, as the name suggests. It's a pretty wild place. But can you see something strange here?" she asked, showing Fiona a picture. Fiona looked closely at the photo, but couldn't see anything except sand. "What am I looking at?" she asked. Dr. Nielsen smiled. Can't you see this perfectly square shadow? She pointed to a dark area on the screen. That's not from sandhills. Nature doesn't build in straight lines. That must be a building there. You can camouflage a building, but you can't hide it from the sun. You're brilliant, Edith, Fiona exclaimed. You'll make a perfect spy. Okay, there's no time to lose. Let's go to Australia. Okay, so they're going back to Australia. Now we have some different words here that are interesting. Hesitated. Hesitated is when you take a pause. You take a pause usually because you're afraid of something, you're cautious, you're not sure what's going to happen next. And so you take a pause. That means to hesitate, okay? To work something out, to work out something. Work out, yes, in one sense, work out means to do exercise, right? No, to pump iron, to do the bars, to push weights. But the other one of work something out, when we work something out, is when you have a problem and you're working on a solution. You're finding a solution to a problem. That means working out, okay? And the other one was shadow. Shadow. Now actually in English we have two words for this. One is shadow and the other is shade. Okay? Shade and shadow. Now when we talk about the sun, and when the sun hits something and you see the effect of it, it's called a shadow. That's the shadow. You can see your shadow. But the shade is like, for example, if you go to the beach and you take an umbrella to the beach. Well, why do you take the umbrella to the beach? Because you want shadow or you want shade? Well, you want shade. Shade is what you want because it's what protects you from the sun. And so it's confusing because it's kind of the same thing, but we use it in a different way. The shadow, like I have a shadow, you have a shadow, the tree has its shadow because the sun, when the sun hits it, what the tree protects from being hit by the sun is its shadow. I have my shadow, you have your shadow. But the shadow produces shade. The shadow is a shade for other people. Okay, so like for example, the umbrella's shadow provides pleasant shade on the beach. Kind of like that. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And so that's chapter 9, a meeting in Singapore. So we'll see you next week for chapter 10.